Ladies and gentlemen, how are we getting on? Back at it again with another video. So as per request, we're going with a long-term outlook for Bitcoin. I don't usually kind of speculate on this kind of stuff, where the top is, where the bottom is. I usually just trade what's in front of me, but as per request, I'm here, so we'll give it a shot. You never know if these predictions come true. 6 months or a year from now, I look like a god, so can't complain with that. Um, this will be pure speculation, so take it with a grain of salt for sure. And yeah, just before we start the video, free Discord link below, and VIP linked below. We are currently in a Tesla short, up about 65 to 70% currently. 50% of profits taken, stop loss at break even. We longed Ethereum last night, closed out for serious profit. Take profit 1 and 2 were hit, and I let the rest run, which was stopped out a break even in the end. I think the second take profit was for 100+%. Anyways, I post all my gains and losses so you can track back my trades. It's been over 2.5 weeks since I have posted a negative trade, which is kind of absurd. Um, yeah, on a bit of a roll at the moment. The market is surely due its money back soon enough. But yeah, so let's start off the video. But speaking from pure speculation route, chances of this are practically zero, I would argue, for this specific one. But what could be playing out, or likely not, but could be playing out, is one gigantic head and shoulders pattern. And yeah, probably not. Very simply, probably not. I just said throw it out there. Who knows? Is we could be getting. You could call this a double top either. I know, not exactly. It's not exactly double top, but very easily could be. Um, on top of that, I do see what could play out is a little smaller head and shoulders pattern here, which with a neckline at about 40,000. Doesn't look like the best picture now for sure. But with a neckline at 40,000, you would measure the neckline up to the peak. Um, and I don't really use for technical analysis. It's usually reliable enough. And you would measure the neckline to the peak, and you would use that as your move downward. And we're talking anywhere from the down to the 12,000 region, which does line up with severe amount of support for us. To draw just roughly probably the 12 to 14k region. That is a massive confluence of support for us. Honestly, for the long term in Bitcoin, that would be an amazing move to play out. Like, and then from 12k, 14k, we bounce and go from there. Now, disclaimer: I do love a good bear market. I much rather a bear market than a bull market. Any fool can make money off a bull market by, like, the part about it that annoys me is you got these fuckers buying dog coins. They're making 1,000% off and 10,000% off them because they're just hodling the fuck out of it. Anybody can make money off a bull market if you just hold on. But when we're talking a bear market, not everybody can short. Not a lot of people know you can short, and that's why I love the bear market. But anyways, talking about that, that is a move we could see play out, and obviously it's very early to be saying that kind of sort of stuff. But yeah, if we did ping pong around the whatever as high as the 54k region down to 40k, there'd be some serious swings in there, and yeah, and on top of that, that would also we are still in a downtrend at the moment, so going lower high. So if we were to play out this pattern, we would not make a higher high on the midterm trend. So yeah, from there we're talking decent support, very decent support at the 30k mark. good confluence on their previous lows. Double bottom. Good play for sure. Now switching over to market cipher. This is where the bread and butter is at. We're going green dot on the daily. Everybody's like, ooh, you know, like last time we see green dot on the daily, we're at the very bottom down here. But looking at the 12-hour, we're currently printing a red dot. Looking at the 8-hour, red dot. And, you know, the smaller time frames are just a prediction of what's going to come on the larger time frame if these moves do play out. So presuming we print this red dot on 12-hour, bringing us down, we could then see, we're currently moving up here, we could see a red dot get printed on the daily, sending us even lower. Completely possible, and would be my favorite scenario. Sure, we have a lot of whales moving massive amounts of Bitcoin on the exchanges at the moment. There is majority of Bitcoin being sold at the moment is whales, which is never a good thing to see. Generally, they know a lot more than you. Although Bitcoin is completely oversold, so a bounce would be in the cards completely. If we're talking bounce wise, we're talking up into the 50k region, maybe 54k first resistance, and then we could go up to 50, 57 absolute max for 54k. Be a nice top on this little mini trend here. Going on to the weekly, trending downwards. VWAP starting to level out down there. The daily is where it's at the moment. 12-hour. If we go back to here, look at this VWAP coming straight down. This red dot will print, in my opinion. And if we do get a little bit more downside action, then we get the red dot on the daily. And that starts to look very bearish, especially with the daily money flow on the crossover at the moment. If I zoom right in here, then we can also see the VWAP on the daily is about leveled out. So if we get any downside movement here, down momentum on the VWAP, money flow getting more into the red, and then we print a red dot. That does not look good for Bitcoin. Where that could drive us, it could just drive us down to the 40k region again, and we just get a second bounce off it. Or we break that region if there's not enough buy volume there. Bitcoin itself has extremely low volume compared to what it did back in the day. Like for where we are, fucking volume here at the moment. Like if we just saw this go into the 2 there, like volume itself, since making these higher highs, volume is nowhere to be seen compared to what it was back then. Like that is severely trending downwards, and any spikes we do have in volume are like pure the red candles. Like, you know, that's liquidation central. That's what they are, pretty much. And another thing about it is when we did get these liquidation wicks and it was all bought up, not a lot of that Bitcoin actually got transferred to wallets. So you're assuming maybe not all whales are picking up this kind of stuff. So what you do have playing on here at the moment is Bitcoin doesn't matter. There is one thing that matters, and that is the dollar, in my opinion. If we look at this from, let's go to perspective. So we have this area here from 2017 onwards on the downtrend of Bitcoin. That was our pump for Bitcoin. And then we had dollar bouncing back. This was our bear market. And then we had the dump, which was our bull market of 2020. And currently, dollar is on an absolute tear. And that is generally negative for Bitcoin. Bar Bitcoin has not seen anything negative out of it. we could see the market come knocking soon enough. Although there is a lot more liquidity in the market, you getting printed left, right, and center. That could be propping up both the stock market and Bitcoin at the moment. But usually, from past performance, we do see that when the dollar pumps, Bitcoin dumps. When the dollar dumps, Bitcoin pumps. They're usually inversely correlated to each other. Bitcoin usually follows the same trend as the broader market, being the S&P 500, basically the broader market, is itself, if we it's seeing some very interesting wicks down in the uptrend at the moment. I think the market is looking weak, the actual broader market, which could draw down Bitcoin as well. You have massive amounts of money being printed. You have jobs numbers coming in very low compared to what they should be. You have the Fed with inflation fears going on, severe inflation. CPI was what, 6.2%, I think. So I suppose the Fed speeds up its taper, raises interest rates. It could crash the market, not heavily, depending on the hike, but it could dip the market for sure, which would probably dip Bitcoin. You would then have a lot of stock market people that suppose they were over leveraged, market gets hit, all of a sudden they get a bit of a margin call. They will sell their crypto to pay off their margins. Stock market. People would much rather sell their crypto to pay off their stock market portfolio than their stock market portfolio to pay off their crypto, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's the dollar that matters. Like, people go, oh, ETFs, blah, 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 blabbering on about shit like that. Oh, the bigger players in the game, the institutions, and these guys are taking out massive amounts of money in loans. Yeah, it's the dollar matters. Like interest rates they're zero at the moment. Basically, money is free. The cost of money is nothing at the moment, and yeah. So once them interest rate hikes come up, yeah, and the cost of money starts going up, all of a sudden to have a massive amount of money loaned out to yourself starts to get expensive. You got to start paying off that loan, and that's when you start selling your crypto. You start selling your stock portfolio. The market itself, the crypto market, is severely over leveraged still after them wicks. The stock market itself is completely over leveraged. The housing market is completely over leveraged. The stock market itself, derivatives wise, is in over $1 trillion in leverage on it. I've seen an article on it today as well. On, yeah, $1 trillion in leverage taken out. And how big is the market? Like that's a nice chunk of the market. You get that if you knock out them leverage positions, the squeezes could be massive. So yeah, and then on the broader scope of things, you got your COVID playing out. You have your um, you have your COVID playing out. You have housing market playing out. You have your Evergrande situation playing out. Another interesting one is Congress talking about crypto at the moment. You got the regulatory powers coming in, could make a difference. You got the SEC looking into some people. You got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Evergrande's next debt payment is on the 28th of December. Yeah, and last time they couldn't pay it, the mini crashed the market for a couple of days. They are 28th is their next payment, and if they miss that, like that could have dire consequences on the market. they're in severely over leveraged position, and there's many more Chinese companies that are in severe leverage as well. But yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. If we're talking top of Bitcoin, got some nice fib levels. I think the fib level I like, we're talking, if we did get a pump, I like the 87k region. That's what I like for top. Now obviously we could push into the hundreds. Bitcoin itself, it's not going to last years, I don't think. It's just it's too in the past compared to other cryptos nowadays. Obviously I could be wrong, it's a great store of value and all that, but the fact that of its market cap, it might mean that it will stay adopted, but there is plenty of alternatives out there to Bitcoin that are way better than it. They just don't have the market cap and the reliability that Bitcoin has. Depends what you're looking at Bitcoin as, a store of value, store of energy. It can be looked at a lot of different ways. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Guys, enjoy. Links below. Thanks for watching. Peace out.